Deep in southern New Mexico, at the base of the Organ Mountains, lies one of our major national missile testing facilities. Its name, White Sands Missile Range, is destined to live in the annals of American missilery. For here, beginning in 1945, many history-making events have taken place. For instance, tests of the earliest American military rockets, firings of German V-2s, and launch of the first two-stage missile. Here also began our rocket exploration of the upper atmosphere, an essential step on man's journey to outer space. Now let's take a quick look at what's up at the White Sands of today. Operated by the U.S. Army as a national range for use of all government agencies, White Sands is an immense outdoor laboratory. This most highly instrumented of the free world's testing ranges covers thousands of square miles of flatland and high mountains. The area is dotted with electronic and optical instrumentation. Many instruments collect missile flight data, while others are an integral part of systems under test. All range instrumentation systems are tied together by extensive communications networks. Precision-built optical instruments photograph missiles in flight. Some instruments can photograph the separation of rockets and boosters up to a distance of 40 miles. The tremendous amounts of raw test data gathered can be effectively reduced to mathematical terms only by use of computers. During an actual flight, the missile tester can tell at any given instant where the missile is and where it is going to impact. Thus, a straying missile can be destroyed before leaving safe areas. From the beginning, the U.S. Navy has conducted extensive studies of the upper atmosphere and through the years has tested a number of combat missiles designed for use at sea. Here, the standard anti-radiation missile is launched to seek its target. It is one of several weapon systems that the Navy has tested at the National Missile Range. The missile can be fired from the decks of ships or can be air-launched. This Aero-B upper air sounding rocket, shown here in slow motion, was fired by the Navy in support of a National Aeronautics and Space Administration experiment. The Navy Ares sounding rocket holds the world's altitude record for single-stage rockets, 318 miles, set at White Sands. The ASMD anti-ship missile defense weapon scores a planned near miss against a Fire-B target drone. The Navy Tomahawk cruise missile is among the latest weapon systems to be tested by the Navy. This missile was launched from a Navy A-6 aircraft that was guided from the California coast to White Sands by the Tomahawk's Terrain Comparison Guidance System. Not all missiles are test-flown to study flight characteristics. For instance, this Trident missile was deliberately destroyed after only a few seconds of flight in a test designed to prove its own destruct system. Neighboring Holloman Air Force Base serves as a staging area for Air Force projects. The Air Force has long been one of the major testing agencies at White Sands. Here, the aircraft intercept missile known as AIM is targeted against a full-sized F-102 drone aircraft. Both the missile's mothership and the drone were flown from the Holloman Air Base. The Air Force GBU-15 air-to-surface glide bomb, sometimes referred to as a smart bomb, heads toward its ground target somewhere on White Sands Missile Range. Another air-to-ground weapon called SRAM, or Short-Range Attack Missile, is launched from a B-1 bomber. This test was to determine compatibility between the B-1 and SRAM. Like the Navy, the Air Force uses the missile range and its vast instrumentation in testing its air-launched cruise missile. Over the years, the Air Force has conducted an extensive balloon program to assist government agencies in probing for secrets of outer space. Since balloons stay aloft much longer than rockets, they are more suitable vehicles for certain experiments in astrophysics and upper air research. The Air Force high-speed test track was made famous by Colonel John Stapp's daring rides in the 1950s to determine human reactions to high G-forces. Now, a space shuttle escape system is being tested at the track. For some years at White Sands, NASA worked with the Apollo program. Now their main project is the nation's first shuttle orbiter. The steam ejector altitude simulation system is used to conduct space shuttle propulsion tests. At the NASA facility, materiel is subject to a variety of standard tests. Systems studied here have run the gamut from rocket motors to astronaut life support equipment. Strips of different compositions undergo flammability tests to determine auto-ignition temperatures and propagation rates. Since 1976, NASA astronauts have used this reconfigured Grauman executive jet over the range's Northrop Strip to learn space shuttle landing techniques. Obviously, their training program was successful. The Army tests the Stinger, a highly accurate air defense missile. It is fired against a droned F-102 aircraft. Army troops, in a simulated combat situation, fired 2 medium-range Lance artillery missiles during exercises at White Sands. The Patriot air defense system is slated to replace the Hawk and Nike Hercules missiles during the next decade. Here, the Patriot is fired against a Firebee drone target during test and evaluation. Copperhead, a laser-guided artillery projectile, is expected to revolutionize artillery accuracy with its first-round hit capability. This unarmed Copperhead firing is against a stationary tank target. A A tow anti-tank missile is fired at a moving cloth target. Improved versions of the Army's faithful Hawk air defense missile continues to be tested at White Sands, here against an MQM-34 drone. The short-range, low-level Chaparral air defense missile seeks out its target. Pershing, the Army's mightiest surface-to-surface missile, heads for impact on White Sands from McGregor Range at Fort Bliss, Texas. The entire flight will take only 3 or 4 minutes from liftoff to impact. The Roland, an air defense system designed by France and West Germany and recently accepted by the United States for possible use as a short-range air defense system, is test-fired against a Firebee drone target. The Army Atmospheric Sciences Laboratory uses these low-key rockets, among other techniques, to collect extensive meteorological data used in range missions. Other modern techniques include this satellite ground terminal that provides cloud cover information from geosynchronous satellites every 15 minutes. Scientists also study the effects of the Earth's atmospheric influence on artillery projectile accuracy. Precise measurements are taken from the instant the projectile is fired to its point of impact. In another test, laser beams are used to exploit the effects of heat waves and other atmospheric disturbances to remotely measure the crosswinds. These efforts are designed to improve the accuracy of the Army's direct fire weapons. Other Army agencies conduct a myriad of tests on equipment. 600 tons of ammonium nitrate and fuel oil explosives were stacked in the missile range desert and detonated to simulate a nuclear blast. Part of the test, known as Operation Dice Throw, involved the study of blast effects on military equipment. Many kinds of ground tests are essential to the complete evaluation of a missile system. Some equipment undergoes severe road tests over courses several miles long. A Lance artillery missile's warhead undergoes testing designed to study operational characteristics, while a Hawk air defense missile's propulsion system is put through exhaustive tests to assure it can withstand the rigors of combat. A common laboratory test involves bombarding a missile system or its components with nuclear radiation. One of the largest in the world, the White Sands Solar Furnace, or Thermal Radiation Facility, can simulate the extreme heat emitted by a nuclear bomb's detonation, producing temperatures up to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Missile components are subjected to all kinds of shocks and vibrations to see how well they will endure travel and handling in the field. Weapon systems are subjected to extreme climatic conditions that might be encountered in any part of the world, such as blowing dust, torrential rain, and Arctic cold. The Stinger air defense missile is studied by Army scientists in the laboratory. An anechoic chamber is used to gather information about electronic countermeasures. For testing air defense weapons, aerial targets are essential. This is an MQM-107 drone. A catapult system, originally used to launch Marine jets in Vietnam jungles, is now being used at White Sands as a drone launcher in testing air defense weapons. At Holloman Air Force Base, the mobile Vega target control system is used for takeoff of the F-102 drone. This full-sized, obsolete fighter aircraft presents a realistic target for missile tests and can carry more instrumentation equipment than the smaller drone. Once airborne, a drone is controlled by the fixed Vega target control system. Multiple target formations are made possible through an automatic computerized ground control system. An occasional missile malfunction provides valuable information. At White Sands, America's biggest land range, recovery of test items after impact is a large and important operation. From retrieved components, scientists and engineers gather information to improve tomorrow's missiles. Recovery also means economy. Most drones not involved in an actual warhead test can be repaired and reused again. So, we have seen what's up at White Sands Missile Range, where the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, and other government agencies strive for continued progress in American missilry.